It is about you. You are the selling point, and the landscape is changing. So be your authentic self, because no one wants to go to work being miserable all day. Look at your own resume, look at your own LinkedIn, and look at your impact and what you have provided for that other company. And if you write things in that context, you're going to talk to the next employer.
In my opinion, it's about giving the customer what they really want and just blowing their mind once they get it. And that's what I really love to see, honestly.
Get people to do more of home cooking, home cooked meals, healthy meals, so we can all live long and happy.
I'm very proud to be a mom, because not for nothing, women are amazing.
Oh my God, the sacrifice, and how we make it look so easy.
I was just telling Joanne before we got on the call, I said, I had to run from my daughter's school. They had an Easter egg hunt. I said, all right, Mom, I gotta go to work. But, you know, just as moms, we make it happen, you know, supernatural abilities. We are the example for them, you know, and I know that with them being a better version of us.
You have to try. You never know how creative you are until you try. Because I didn't think I was creative. I found my creative side during a horrible time in my life.
Hello. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope everyone had a great Christmas on yesterday. I know I did. My stomach is full. My kids are full. You know, they weren't eating. They full of a bunch of paper and boxes and stuff, and everything else that got to do with Christmas that ain't got nothing to do with the reason for Christmas, which is Christmas. But anyway, hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy first day of Kwanzaa. My name is Athenia Rodney. I am the CEO and founder of Juneteenth NYC and the leader of AR Business Expansion, where I help entrepreneurs streamline operations and achieve sustainable growth. So that is what I do. And today, because of the day and because it's Kwanzaa, I thought it was even more fitting for us to have a conversation talking about the principles of Kwanzaa. I get all the time, still, what exactly is Kwanzaa? And what are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa? So before I even get started, I want to see you all, see how many of you actually know. I want you to drop one principle of Kwanzaa in the chat right now. Right now. I want to see you drop one principle of Kwanzaa in the chat. And if you see somebody else posted it, you can't use that same one. So I want you to drop the principles of Kwanzaa in the chat. I learned the principles of Kwanzaa when I was in, I want to say elementary school. I was like 4th grade. And let me tell you how. I learned it because I was on a step team and it was a part of one of our steps. We had to memorize the whole thing. See, like I just got in my head the whole beat. So it became a part of my mechanics from 4th grade. What's that, like 9 years old? So it has been a part of me in a way that I wasn't even aware when I was younger. And I'm glad that it is something that I get to now teach my children, teach others like yourself. So thank you for joining again. And please share, like, tag, invite somebody else into this conversation so they can learn a little bit more about what Kwanzaa is and why Juneteenth really pushes Kwanzaa. Is really big for me. As you know, any business is going to be at the heart of the owner. And so Juneteenth is us celebrating the history of the African Americans in this nation, right? It's not about the freedom only that happened in Galveston, Texas. That's a part of the story, but that is not the story. And I just want to decriminalize, defocus, all of that. The idea that Juneteenth is not for all of us, just like Kwanzaa is not for all of us. And I'm going to jump in so we can kind of get started. So I can tell you a little bit more. So living the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, I'm also going to be sharing a little bit of how I have used the principles of Kwanzaa whether it's in my business or in other spaces, because that is one thing that I felt was missing, right? There were a lot of times where I would be celebrating Kwanzaa, and the question always came up, how do you celebrate it throughout the year? And a lot of people in the space with me would say, would kind of make things up, but it wasn't like in their heart, like how they were celebrating it throughout the year. So I made a conscious effort, and I'm going to leave you with some practical ways for you also to celebrate Kwanzaa throughout the year, because it should not just be the last week of the year that we are celebrating and talking about this amazing holiday. So what are we going to be talking about today? Kwanzaa. It's that simple. Purpose of today's session is to discover the history, the principles, and practices of Kwanzaa. Now, I am going to say this. Kwanzaa is a Swahili, is created in the Swahili language. I am not an expert, but I will do my best. So I ask you to give me grace. So learn practical ways to celebrate the season and to prepare for 2025 and get inspired to bring Kwanzaa values into your daily life. So that is what we are going to get started with. So first and foremost, let's talk about the history of Kwanzaa. How did Kwanzaa kind of get started? And so Kwanzaa was founded in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga during the Black Freedom Movement. So if this is right before like Martin Luther King kind of got started. So it was very up and coming during that time. It was definitely a time of pride installment. So installing pride in oneself. And we'll talk a little bit more about what those, because that's part of what the Kwanzaa principles are, right? And really just finding something outside of slavery to focus on. So that's the big part for me, because I feel like we talk so much about what happened during slavery, and we don't talk about all of the good things that make us up, for us to be proud of, for us to be really encouraged by. We were kings and queens in our countries when we were in Africa, and we were torn from our families, torn from our culture, torn from our land. So many things. We were bamboozled. Like there's so many things in that space. Other tribes were selling other tribe members so that they can have a one-up, so that they can take over land. Like it's always about property. But that's not what this conversation is about. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But this was created in an effort to give us our freedom back, our freedom in our mind, because that is the biggest thing and the hardest thing to really free. The name comes from the Swahili phrase Matunda ya Kwanzaa, means first fruit. So I'm going to ask you some questions later. I hope you'll be able to answer. So Kwanzaa in itself means first fruit. Kwanzaa honors African heritage and values, which have originated back in the motherland. But it's important to note it's a cultural holiday. It is not a religious one. So a lot of people are like, oh, I can't celebrate that, my religious beliefs. It is not a religious belief. It is a cultural holiday. And this allows for everyone to be able to celebrate it and to participate in it. All right. So next, we're going to talk about some key symbols of Kwanzaa, some things that you might have seen or heard about, but not really very familiar with, right? So let's talk about the first one. We have the Kinara. So the Kinara, it holds 7 candles representing the 7 days of Kwanzaa. The Kinara represents we call it see, this one of the words that we mess up. Nguzo Saba. So Nguzo Saba, which is the 7 principles. So usually in the morning, that is what the call, like Nguzo Saba, like what's today? What principle is today? There's the Makika, which is the mat that you see in the second one. A mat symbolizes the foundation of our history and our culture. So you see the beautiful colors and the bringing together of all of the different colors, the red, black, and green, which are our African heritage colors, or our pan-Africanistic colors. which I want to note are different than the Juneteenth colors. And that is what we will be talking about in 2025 as part of our Juneteenth mission, is that the Pan-African colors and the Juneteenth colors are different. What color they do share is the red, and that's the blood. That's what binds us all together. And it also is shared in the American flag, which again, all binds us together. When you get to the heart of things, we are all the same. And that's what we will definitely be talking about this year. But I wanted to just put a pin on that so that you also knew about that. Next, we have the Unity Cup. The Unity Cup reminds us of togetherness, similar to like when you're doing communion at church. And I know I said this wasn't religious, but I'm just giving you a reference that some people might be more familiar with. At church, you would pass around, well, back in the days, you used to pass around the Unity Cup, not after COVID and all these other things that happened. We ain't doing that. But we would pass around a cup. Everyone would take a sip, pass it, take a sip, pass it. And so it was to create unity, to bring people together, saying that, you know, we break bread, we commune together, that we are of one mind and body. The mosaic, or the fruits and vegetables. So usually there's a platter that has fruits and vegetables to represent the collective work and achievements of our community. Because guess what? Our ancestors tilled the land. They did from our roots. You know, when I see a lot of these, like the potatoes, the yams, the bananas, like all of these, everything comes from the roots, the trees, the vines, all of those, and just being able to be connected. We're connected in so many different ways. All right, next slide, please. So now let's talk about what the principles are. So I hope you didn't cheat and we're waiting for this part, but you actually put in what the principles were in the chat. So the first, which is today, is Umoja, which is also the name of my organization, my event planning organization, Umoja, which means unity, right? Unity for strengthening bonds with families and communities, bringing people together. So I've just told you how I celebrate and how I bring Umoja into spaces. I felt like it was a great way to be able to say that I was a Black business without saying I'm a Black business, y'all. And it got at the heart of what I do in my event planning business. Every event that I do, whether it is a funeral, a baby shower, a birthday party, a corporate event, it is about bringing people together in unity. So Umoja was the perfect name for the organization. And I am so proud that I chose that name and continue to live it out. And it is a name that's unique. Not everyone has it. A lot of people only hear about it on today, on the first day of Kwanzaa. Next one is Kujichagulia, self-determination. Come on, say it with me. Kujichagulia, self-determination. So this is defining and creating our own narratives. And this is a big component of what I like to talk about all year long, because we cannot allow our stories to be told by other people. We have to tell our own stories. And that is what I encourage people when I do coaching sessions with them, that you cannot be defined by what somebody else thinks you should be, that you have to define it, and then you have to share to the world what you're defining. If you define it, it only stays with you, then guess what? No one will ever know really what it is. So you have to write it down, make it plain. Like that is such a big thing. Write it down, make it plain. I wish you could see my office. I have mood boards, vision boards, and we're actually going to be doing some of those throughout the year in 2025. So definitely look out for that. That is something that is, you have to do it, y'all. Like, I don't even know how else to explain it. Like, write it down, make it plain. As soon as you wake up, write down thoughts that come to your mind, because usually that's the time when God is talking to you. When you take a shower, like I know God talked to me when I'm in the shower. Write it down when you come out. I've got the journal. I'll be writing for like 5 minutes. My husband will be like, "You're not gonna put your clothes on?" He's like, "You enticing me." I'll be like, "No, I'm trying to get this out of my head. Give me a minute." So just write it down, make it plain. Create yourself. You determine what you would like to be. And sometimes that takes some introspection, some reflection, like taking a mirror, right? Asking people, what do you think about me? asking people to share with you, like, how do you see me? How do I show up? For years, people would tell me, oh, you're very critical, Athenia, or you hold people to high standards, or you're a leader. And I had to sit down and I had to write those things down. And I had to think, is that how I want to be seen? Do I want to be seen as someone who is critical? Not really. Do I want to be seen as someone who's a leader? Yes. But in every space? Not really. Do I want to be seen as, someone who is culturally minded or community oriented? Absolutely. And so I needed to make some changes on the critical part for myself, right? And how did I do that? I read books on what it meant to be critical. I found out, I took classes, workshops. I did a rites of passage where I learned about the four, why am I drawing a blank? It's the four cornerstones, and for the life of me right now, I can't think about it. But basically, it's don't take things personal. I don't know why I'm still stuck on yesterday, Christmas Day. I come back to it. But basically, those 4 principles have helped to guide me in figuring out more about myself and what I want to be and how I want to be it. So just thinking about what that might be for you, make that happen. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. And this is really about problem solving together, right? We don't do, and my Pastor A.R. Bernard at Christian Cultural Center, he always says we do not grow in isolation, we grow in community. And this is a prime example. Ujima is a prime example of that. When you're going through something really bad or traumatic, a lot of people have the recourse to go and just be in a hole or stay away from people. And I'm constantly encouraging people, this is the most time that you should go out and be around people so that you can be loved on, so that you can be cared for. God is love. How can you get and receive love if you're in a room by yourself? It doesn't happen that way. So we have to come to the table together. More, what they say, more minds make for an easy load, right? More hands make for easy load. I say the more minds make for easy load as well. The more people you have that can help you work through a situation and give you suggestions on what you might be able to do, then you are able to get to your end result a lot faster. So definitely that part. Umoja, cooperative economics. This one is about the money, y'all. Dollar bill, y'all. And I hope y'all are looking to come out to our Kwanzaa event that we are doing out in Queens. Yes, y'all, we gonna be in Queens. Hey. So we're excited about that. We will be live on the 28th. So we definitely hope, small plug, that you'll be able to come out and join that. But cooperative economics, supporting Black-owned businesses. I cannot tell you how important that is. I know everybody hears it all the time. The Black dollar that doesn't stay in our community long. It only stays in for a couple of hours. And other communities like the Jewish community stays in for weeks. You are right. And you know why? Because we don't see value in our own businesses and we don't see value in each other's businesses. And there are so many businesses of value. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so surprised. I did start my business because it was something that was missing. There was business of value in the event planning department that were people of color that I could depend on, and I didn't see it. So I created it so that I could be it. And now we have over 600 5-star reviews on our Google page. That speaks volumes to just that. Like, I saw the need, created it. And so many people, Black, white, Jewish, Russian, you name it, people have been reaching out to our organization. We're also a MWBE organization. We also are, we also have our certificate to do DOE and stuff like that. So I did all of those things because there were not people in those areas. There were no one. If there was, it's maybe one. And living in New York City, that is unheard of. One Black business that's doing that is connected in these ways. So as you can imagine, we were definitely getting a lot of engagement for that. But cooperative economics, Umoja, what are you doing in your to support other businesses? Did you purchase Christmas gifts for your family members from a Black business? I'm just saying, no shade, not throwing it there. I'm just I'm just asking. Now I'm going to go on to the next one. Nia, purpose. What is your purpose in life? How are you showing up in this world? Are you showing up the way God intended you to? Are you showing up because you're just going through the motions and you really don't even know what your purpose is? If that is the case, I implore you to take a moment and stop. And again, I'm going to say, take out your journals and write about any situation that has happened in your life that has challenged you, because, God will use your pain and he will make it something that he will exalt, because in that he is exalted. Okay. So there's so many things that happened in my life growing up, and how I had to operate and how I had to lead my household in different ways. How I had to just survive, right? That it taught me how to be in the space that I am now, how to be a successful entrepreneur, how to be able to think quick-wittedly, to be able to answer questions and stuff like that, or to find find answers to problems, so solutions to problems in a fast amount of time. Like, all of that came from my upbringing. So I had to stop though, and I had to really look at the whole picture and kind of see, how do these all come together? And you may need to do the same if that's something that you are thinking about. Maybe you make that your life's mission for 2025, that you understand your purpose and go a little bit deeper with it. Next one, Kuumba, creativity. And we creative. That is the space that we have continued to operate in. Everything entertainment, whether it is design, modeling, fashion, art, poetry, books, comedy, you name it, we have done it, continue to do it, but we don't get recognition for it. And so this is the space where we talk about the creativity, and especially in our schools today, where creativity is being taken out. And even now, what is being included in creativity is STEM, because science is creativity as well. And online, so being able to designs and stuff like that, like all of that is a part of creativity. So don't think that it just has to be that hands-on thing, but how are you taking what you were given and channeling it into different spaces? I went last month or earlier this month, I went to a painting session, and I got to do a painting event, and it was so relaxing. Like, I really needed it. But I wouldn't have done it otherwise. Like, I wouldn't have just sat at home and just started painting. Like, I needed to go out to something to do it. So just tap into your creativity, draw circles, draw a house, draw something, do something that is going to tap into your creativity. You never know what might be. Even cooking is a part of that. Cooking, farming, like all of that's part of creativity. And lastly is Imani, faith. The heart, which you've heard we've been talking about, believing in our people, believing in a collective journey, believing in a higher power, and how that higher power governs us, and how it directs us in everything that we do. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into all of this. So Umoja Unity, it's December 26th, which is today, striving for unity in the family, community, and race, right? So Kwanzaa holds immense cultural significance. It honors African heritage, fosters pride, and reflects shared values and traditions. But beyond culture, it's a tool for community building. A tool, y'all. Put this in your toolbox. This is a tool. Kwanzaa encourages collaboration, and specifically around unity and collective growth, helping us strengthen bonds within our families and networks. And why that is so important right now, we are always in a space of tearing each other down, right? We see somebody want to come up, and we're like, oh, how they want to come up? They used to be living in the projects next to me, or we used to be getting food stamps, or maybe they was doing something illegal, or maybe like why we always have the worst intentions on our neighbor, instead of, yo, how can I help you? That's the first thing that I say when I'm talking to somebody, is how can I be of help to you? Me, my companies that I own, my family, my friends, my connections, my resources. How can I be of help to you? That is really what Umoja is about. How can you be of help to somebody else? So just think about that for a minute, and see and ask yourself what way might you be able to be helpful to someone else? How might you be a resource? How might you be the stool so that somebody else can get a leg up and get over that fence so that they can pull you up afterwards? And even if they don't pull you up, even if that person doesn't pull you up, know that because you were a stool for somebody else, somebody is going to be a stool for you. So stop thinking that the world is against you. It is there not. I don't know where that came from, but I just wanted to pour. Somebody needs to hear that. Okay, so I said it. All right. Next, Kujichagulia, self-determination, defining, naming, and creating ourselves, which I kind of shared with you all. And just going through what that looks like for you, defining yourself, naming, creating yourselves. Like I said, get a journal, write down like what you desire to be and what you've heard people say about you. Some people are like, oh, you're so stubborn, or you hard-headed, or something like that. I like to find positive words or that reflect some of those. No, I'm not stubborn. I'm just critical. I'm not hard-headed. I forget what the word, but like just creating a positive spin on it so that you are not demeaning yourself, because that too is a part of how you are able to bring yourself up in the world. Ujima, collective work and responsibility, building and solving problems together, which we talked about. What are you doing to solve problems with other people? How are you especially in business, right? Like I always talk about, like, who can you connect to? What organization can help to pour into you and you pour into them? So like I said, for example, I am a balloon artist, right? And I started a balloon event planning business. I am not a florist. I'm not a DJ. I am not technically, I'm not a designer, so I will bring in event planners who are designers. I'm a logistics person, so I'm the detail-oriented person. Like at this time, at 6:51, 6:52, 6:53, this is going to be happening. Like that's me. That's how my mind works. Others are, this color and this color match and going well together. That's not me. So be able to understand too that what's you and what's not you. But in order for me to do what I did and do it well, it took for me to connect with these other businesses. And what happened is they would pour into me. They would send me jobs. I would send them jobs. I would hire them for stuff. They would call me like, hey, I just got this person. They need a balloon decor. Are you available? That's how you work. And I also had balloon friends, lots of them, because there were jobs that I would get sometimes that I couldn't do. And I had to be able to, hey, any of y'all available to take this job? And they would be so elated, so much so that they started contacting me when they had big jobs and they needed some help or some support. Or because I was at MWBE, I got large contracts that I could not do on my own or with my team. Like I had to hire people who knew what they were doing, because this is a large contract with the city and I ain't trying to mess it up. So I would have these large jobs to do like 20,000 balloons and of 100-foot garlands in we had 500 3-foot rubber latex balloons. You don't even imagine. You don't want to imagine how long that takes to do all that stuff. But I needed a team of people, and I was able to bring other people because of the relationships that I built. So people are always like, oh, I'm not telling them all my secrets. I'm not telling them how I do what I do. No one could do what you do ever. No one could ever be you. Only you. God gave you and only you that the situations that you were put in your life to get you where you are. So nobody can ever be you. Nobody can ever be me. I can give a job to somebody and I am not frightened by the fact that they might end up taking that as the next person that they work in instead of calling me again next year. I'm okay with that because I just blessed somebody else. And guess what? God has continued to bless me because I continue to bless others. And that is what the Ujima working collectively and being responsible for each other looks like. Ujama, cooperative economics, supporting Black-owned businesses. As you all know, I do the Juneteenth event every year. It is a major event where we are doing just that. We are working with business owners from beginning. Some people who don't have EIN numbers when they first start out with us, and we work with them to get their EIN numbers. We work with them to get insurance and why insurance is important. We work with them on building out their social media brand and what that looks like. We work with them on branding, because a lot of people are not up on branding. Look, Brandon, look at me. Hey, all the way. Talking about what I do and how I do it well. But you have to be in that space where you are supporting other businesses, supporting other Black businesses so that you can grow as well. Your purpose, building and restoring the greatness of our community. We have to do it together, like I said. And that requires you to learn and know a little bit more about who you are, what your purpose is. Why did God create you? What purpose do you serve in this world, in this greater scheme of things? Kuumba, creativity. Like I said, we have always done an amazing job, whether it be dance or any of the arts. And how we use it to create, to improve our community is great. Find ways to do murals, find ways to take your kids to museums so that they can experience different arts. If your schools are not doing it, please find ways to infuse it in your house. And lastly, Imani, faith. If you are not tethered to a ministry that you admire and that you look up to and that is pouring into you and growing you, that is a lost opportunity. I definitely encourage you to be connected to a faith. And that's on January 1st, which is on a Wednesday this year. Wednesday, because Christmas was on Wednesday. So definitely look into connecting with or understanding your faith. And faith could be just spirituality. It doesn't have to be about a religion, but it is about a higher power and connecting to your higher power. Next slide, please. So why celebrate Kwanzaa? The cultural significance. Kwanzaa, it honors our African heritage. We get to learn a little bit more. We get to talk about our culture. We get to talk about scenario situations. Elders get to tell their stories in a formative way to their children so that it gets passed down. So that is exactly what we should be doing and utilizing this for. Reflect on shared values and traditions, community building, like you shared, all the different ways in which we are building our community together. That's what most of the principles lend themselves to, encouraging collaboration and collective work. Again, how do we do this together and not just by ourselves? Because we don't grow as individuals, we grow in community. So practical ways to prepare for Kwanzaa for 2025. So set a plan. I would say start small by incorporating Kwanzaa traditions gradually. This is a start, sitting down with your kids, watching a replay, sharing this with others, watching it a couple of times just so that you have it in your mind of what the principles are. And then I would say create a calendar, dedicate one day, or I'll say dedicate a month. That's what we're going to be doing here next year for Juneteenth. We're going to be dedicating the entire month to one principle of Kwanzaa. I know there are only 7, so there'll be some fun surprises in between. But we definitely encourage you to take a principle and to highlight it and see what you can do in that principle for the year. Engage your children, get your kids involved. Like, this is an important time to work with them and teach them. Like, get them off the computers, get them off the games, let them do a craft, let them cook, let them read an African folktale and then talk about it. I love like folktales like a Nancy and things like that I've grew up on and learned so much about. Support a Black business. Go out, please, for the life of you. Join something. We are actually doing a directory with all of our vendors and a membership portal for speakers and for small business owners who are looking to expand their business. That'll be an opportunity for you. So take a look out for that. And then collaborate. Again, collaboration, that word, right? Partner with others, organizations, host workshops or events. Don't do it alone. Like, both of your names can be on something so that you can both get the shot. So in closing, I am giving you the call to action for this year. coming. Which Kwanzaa principle resonates most with you? Which one are you going to impart in your life for next year? And I hope you do take a principle and celebrate, focus on it, write it down, share it, post it on social media, do a live, do something different, shake it up, do something different. Commit to practicing one principle this Kwanzaa, my calendar, this Kwanzaa season. Share Kwanzaa traditions to expand awareness and participation, and stay engaged with Juneteenth NYC for future cultural events and resources. And I think that is all questions and thoughts. So we'd love to hear from you. Ask questions or share your thoughts about today's session. Let's discuss how we can embrace and celebrate Kwanzaa together. I know this was a short one this time around, but that is all good. I know it's Kwanzaa, and I know y'all are full from yesterday and all that fun with all of the kids opening up gifts and Christmas morning. So we just want to offer that up to you. So before we go, I did want to share a couple of things that we have going on just for you to be aware of. We just had an amazing event, well, a couple of events, but we had our toy distribution that was really great. We had over 1,000 people who came out for the toy drive and autism awareness fashion show. So we know that happened right before the holidays. If you missed it, we hope that you put it on the calendar for next year, because we will be doing it again. So thank you for that. Next up, I want to talk about the Kwanzaa event that we're doing. Like I was sharing, we have our Kwanzaa event on December the 28th that we are in partnership with our queens in doing that event, and we would like for you to follow us on our Instagram page so that you can attend that event and participate. Tickets are $20, which is just a nominal fee to be able to experience some really amazing stuff. We'll be giving out some awards. We'll be having some raffles. We'll have some Juneteenth t-shirts there. So we definitely look forward to you joining us. And we'll be doing a VIP starting today. So if you are interested in getting a Juneteenth t-shirt and getting into the event, we will have that available to you for that event. Let's see, what else do we got going on that I want to make sure to share? Oh, how can I forget? I thought me. No. But yeah, one thing that I am, again, like I said, very much encouraging people to do more of is to go into this new year with the plan in mind, with goals in front of you, and to celebrate your wins. Like everything is a small win. Celebrate it, move it forward. Don't stay in last year. Last year, as in 2024, is this year. And if anybody has experienced a traumatic and a life-altering, a life-changing year in 2024, like myself and my family, I encourage you to keep going. 2025 is a new beginning, just like every day, every morning is a new beginning. And so I am offering exploratory sessions with individuals who are looking forward to learning a little bit more about how they might be able to expand their business. I will be teaching you different tips and tricks, doing a SWOT analysis, which is talking about your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. We'll also talk about creating an avatar for your business. A lot of people don't have a target market or who they are reaching out to. And those are all things that we are really encouraging people and pushing people to do. And so, yes, if you are interested, definitely DM us and say interested in coaching, and we will send you the information. We have our celebration of Black Kings that is coming up. We are looking for you to nominate a Black King. Our deadline is January the 15th. So please go to our website, juneteenthny.com, or you can go to our social media page, and on that post, just put nominate, and we will send you the link to register a Black King. So we hope that you go and do that. That is exactly what we are looking for. We are also, as we are kicking off for the year, we have our Juneteenth NYC 2025. We're basically asking for a number of different things. So we're looking for fashion models, fashion designers, glam team. The fashion designers, their deadline is January 25th. Fashion models, their deadline is February 22nd. And the glam team, theirs is March 29th. Again, all of these applications are on our website. We're also looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in being a volunteer, we encourage you to go to the site and register. And just to tell you a little bit about the theme this year, this year's theme, A Legacy of Resilience, Celebrating the Power of Community, highlights the rich tapestry of our shared history and our ongoing commitment to empowerment as we prepare for this moment, this monumental 16th annual celebration. I was talking earlier, the thing that connects us all is the red within our flags. The American flag, the Juneteenth flag, which is on the top, and then the Pan-African flag. And we'll be doing a session in the early parts of the year to talk a little bit more about that. But we definitely encourage you to go to our website and to see what all is going on with us. So that is all, y'all. That was a mouthful, but we definitely encourage you to stay connected. Follow us. Please like, please share. Please help us. We're a nonprofit organization. And even if you cannot financially contribute, sharing is currency as well. So thank you again for joining us. And I know I won't see you until the new year. So happy New Year's. And we look forward to seeing you in 2025. Thank you. Bye.